You literally wrote the book. You started with a first draft and spent countless hours pouring your wealth of knowledge onto the pages and published. Well done. Now take another step to reach a new, larger audience by converting your book into online training. Our learning design team can show you how to go digital with an instructional course based on your book. We can help you increase your revenue on both book sales and training online and increase your potential. You've completed the hard part. Now take the next step. Let us show you how. So you've got a big event coming up, and you want to know that you have a production partner who understands your goals and respects your budget. I, Buddy Broyles, along with my professional team at Visual Learning Solutions, can help. Either from our studio and control room in Frisco, Texas, or from a location of your choosing, or even 100% virtually, we will help you and your team execute a flawless event. We work with our clients on various aspects of broadcast. From social media marketing to intensive post-production, we've got you covered. Our company's leadership has been involved in live streaming for years with national respected brands. In our productions, we utilize the latest in multicam and streaming technology to present your event to an engaged, often interactive audience using the tools available in social media platforms and online event services. We can incorporate a myriad of elements, from graphics to text to photos to videos. If you need it in your production, we can make it happen. So if you're looking for a team of professionals to pair with for your next live stream, look no further. Visual Learning Solutions is ready to step in and help you achieve your streaming vision. Find out how by contacting us using the links provided. Hello and welcome to Motivated Learning, presented by Visual Learning Solutions. I'm your host, Buddy Broyles. Motivated Learning is a program created for the education and learning design community to raise awareness about the people and the reason for quality professional education training. Visual Learning Solutions is based here in Frisco, Texas. Our training facility is equipped with a television studio and a separate control room to support a range of video productions. We are a proud and active sponsor of our Dallas Area Association of Talent Development. As this show is live, please be prepared to post any questions for our guest in the chat section as we will discuss them later in the program. Today, I'm excited to welcome Alexander Salas, owner of StyleLearn, an e-learning design firm helping clients of all sizes. He's also the Chief of Awesomeness at ELearning Launch, the online academy for digital learning professionals. When he's not creating amazing learning experiences, he's giving back to the community with free workshops and conferences. Welcome to the show, Alex. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm elated to be here. Thank you so much, Buddy, for the opportunity.
Oh, great. I'm really glad to have you today on the show. I'm excited to talk to you about all the things you're doing. But let's start off with how you reached your current role as COA, Chief of Awesomeness, with a little career history.
Of course. So it's been a long time coming. I as you know, and I was talking to you before, I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. I was a hospital corpsman, which is, don't call us a medic, but I was serving medically the teams over at the U.S. Marines, 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines. And there's where I found my love for enabling others, right? Helping them take the test for promotions and things like that. So I stumbled really upon, like most people in this field, stumbled upon the idea that there's actually a corporate learning world and you could be a learning professional. So I pursued the education and all that, and I had a very good career thus far, still going. But I had a great career in Fortune 100 companies and as an instructional designer, and I really enjoyed it. So being the COA was sort of something I had to make happen, and that was out of the inspiration of founding the online academy for the designers, which is ELearning Launch.
Well, and that kind of begs the question because you're pretty unique as a chief of awesomeness. So maybe there's a course you could create to help others achieve that level of certification to define themselves as students of awesomeness before they can become a chief.
I got to say that every launcher that I've seen come through and they make great work and they achieve their goals. That's the payload. That's what we call the payload. So we have a very we have what is it? An astronaut type of vibe theme. I'm located in Orlando, Florida, and we're pretty close to the Space Coast. So that's the whole vibe about it. So shout out to all my launchers out there, and that's really the biggest reward. But yeah, I got to tell you that it's it's definitely a movement for change because a lot of people either love it or other people don't like it that much. It's like Chief of Awesomeness, what is that? So I know it's a hard job.
Sure, sure. Well, I mean, apparently you're doing it well. I've watched a lot of your content online and the people you're serving, and everyone seems very enthusiastic about what you're doing and why you're doing it. So let's talk about ELearning Launch and why it was created.
Yes, so it was actually I think it's like anything else, things that happen in the world, right? So let's go back to January 2020. I've been working with Dell Technologies, and I always had this impetus or this aspiration of having my own business and doing my own thing. So actually, StarLearn was the original business, and it's still the main business of what I do as an e-learning consultant, as an instructional design consultant. So I decided to do it full time. And I really was not, there was rumors at that point of some kind of virus that had come going around the world, right? And yeah, so I decided to do that, and that was the beginning of the year, and just kind of, I always told myself my story was always that happens to a lot of people, which is like, hey, no, you need to have a good salary, you need to have this, you need to have that, and I was like, you know what? If I keep saying that, I'm already 47, so I'm 46 at the time. So I was like, if I keep saying that, I'm never going to do it. So I really wanted to do it. I wanted to get it done, and so I went for it. And what happened was, I think about in between the lapse of 2 weeks after I started doing it, I started doing my content marketing strategy, my branding and all that. And that got me a lot of exposure on LinkedIn and everywhere else. But that also brought a lot of people that will always contact me. More people kept contacting me about, how do I do this? How do I become an instructional designer? How do I do what you do? And I was helping people directly and just, providing sources and guides and whatnot. But at a certain point, it got to be too much. And you know that when you work for yourself, time is very critical. So that's the first lesson we have to learn, right? So I figure, okay, there's got to be a way that I can do this and just help more people at the time. And I've always been sort of a systems guy. So that was my main thing. So how do I create a system in which everybody can come, get what they need, achieve their goals? And that's what ELearning Launch became.
Excellent. And that old phrase, the best time to plant a tree, was 20 years ago, but the second best is right now. So, in this case, the best time to launch a career or a business, yes, it was 20 years ago, maybe not a year ago, a year and a half ago, but now is also a great time, so that's great that you're moving forward. So let's talk about, the show is Motivated Learning, and it's really about, what motivates us to do what we do. So what motivates you to give so much to the audiences that you serve and the range of audiences? There's quite a few that you're looking to help.
Yes. So I think at the essence, at the core of everything is just like we have the human need to fulfill our purpose here in this world and whatever it is. And some people are very lucky that they know that when they're 3 years old, right? I think in the case of many learning professionals, that's not the case. I guess unless if you're a teacher, it's fine. But in most cases, in the corporate world, you kind of fall into this. And from that perspective, it's finding that purpose. So I think from that angle, to me, it's the motivation is always to help people, to help them achieve what it is if I have the capacity to do so. And I also, always stay up on many different angles and many different things. So I've never been pigeonholed in specific specialty, and that's part of the goal. That's part of the hunt. That's part of the quest and the journey. The problem with that is, in today's world, I wish I was 20 years younger, because I mean, in today's world, you have so many resources. Yes, so it's such a wonderful world right now, digitally, to get all these different skills and things to do. That's the challenge. So yeah, that's what keeps me up, happening and waking up in the morning and happy to get engaged.
Well, I tell you, I think everybody in the audience agrees. If you find a way to be 20 years younger, we're all on board for that. So,
Yeah, here I
but
got my
second,
trick.
yeah, I mean, you could retire immediately and be 20 years younger.
There you
Uh,
go.
but you touched on an interesting point, because you're seeing what I'm seeing in the market is there's a lot of transition later in career for, say, teachers who are becoming instructional designers, kind of finding, there's such a much greater audience of adult learners than anyone really. I mean, any corporation will tell you all of their people are adult learners, but they're adult learners who are transitioning from career to career on any topic, and they need a good education. They need interactive learning and education that really fits them and meets their needs to learn. And as we know, there are so many different types of learners and the way they consume media. So talk to me about some of the programs that you have going on, free or otherwise, that can help those people.
Yes, so we are right now, we started with the basics of what does someone need to really curve up into instructional design. So the main thing is the strategy that I put in place is a unique strategy, and it's not one that is popular in many circles, especially for learning professionals. So I got some flack here and there, depending on what it is. But the whole idea is you have to, with the change in environment, that's the key component here, right? The change in environment that happened back in March of 2020. The change of environment where we had virtual learning and we had digital solutions as sort of always a little bit of the side backup to face-to-face encounters in IoT, right? And when that switch kind of got flipped, that's when you saw this wave of, I mean, it was perfect timing if you were starting a business in instructional design or especially e-learning development. And if you have been established like I was for a bit, it was just a perfect opportunity, and it was a great year. Of course, not to say that was the conditions that happened. We are all aware of that, and we have been impacted negatively on them. But from the from the lens of business, it went that way. It went digital, right? So the strategy at ELearning Launch is completely supported on self-regulated learning, is completely supported on learning science and adult learners. And that's the key challenge, because it's not a hand-holding situation, it's a scaffolding situation, but it's not an experience where we're holding hands and we're keeping you with the same school-based method. So it's a situation in which we have clear conversations. You are an adult. You should go get and find information, which is going to help you. You may not see it right at the moment, but in reflection, you will see that it is the most helpful thing is to actually apply and perform tasks. So you can learn as to how well you're performing the task and how difficult or easy it is for you to perform the task. So the key component is to create work samples. And we do that with 3 different disciplines. One is e-learning development, and the tool for that is Articulate, Storyline. The other one is video production, video editing, and that's with Camtasia. And also then augmented reality with Sapart at the moment. So 2 of those tools are very prevalent in corporate learning. And again, what we're using is the experience that I have over 12 years in corporate learning, what I've seen that the companies use and all of that. And that's why people have so much success when they come to the academy.
So real quick, now that you kind of touched on some of your programs, what are the best ways for them to find you, like your, obviously your website and so on? How are people finding you? What's the easiest way for them to reach out to you?
Oh yeah, so we're all over social media. Of course, I'm LinkedIn, I'm StarLearn, and Facebook. We have an ELearning Launch page. There's also an eLauncher Crew Facebook group that people can find as well. That's open for people to join, and we have now a Slack community that anybody that takes our courses is that. We also make the courses very affordable because that's the next wave. So the next wave is for we do online cohorts, which is really the main attraction. The online cohorts is the experience where everybody gets to know each other. We do kind of Zoom sessions, and they go for at least 4 weeks in most cases. And so those experiences are always remarkable because you get to know new people, you share experiences, and you share your work samples, and you get peer feedback, as well as you get feedback from myself as an instructor. We have all the great, awesome people in the industry, like Benny Danowitz for augmented reality, and we have Myra Roldan doing design thinking. So yeah, it's and Robin DeFelice, of course, she's doing the micro learning session coming up here next week for using 7 taps. So shout out to 7 taps and Kate Udalova, who has been so gracious helping us out. So yeah, it's a fantastic thing. So you can find us on Facebook, find us. I'm StarLearn in most places, and ELearning Launch has a Twitter handle as well, ELearning Launch, and YouTube channels. So
terrific. You're in a lot of places, so it should be relatively easy to find you and get involved in the programs you offer. So real quick, just any final comments or advice for people who are transitioning, either mid-career or they're just starting out, say they're the beginning of their career. What are your thoughts?
Well, starting out at the beginning of the career, I think the key component on everything is there are core competencies that we say, or core skills we have to think about, that those are fantastic and phenomenal and essential for regardless of what job you're doing. So advanced communication skills are going to be part of that. Consulting skills are going to be part of that. The ability to be able to talk to other business partners and get on their side first to understand the business needs and really capture that. So those are critical. Networking has always been, of course, and networking doesn't have to be face-to-face anymore. We know that because of LinkedIn, right? So big ups to LinkedIn. So those are the core competencies. But in the case of everything else, I think you have to venture into learning digital skills, learning the tools, learning specific tools that allow you to create work samples. Into this world, if you want to get into the field of learning professional, being a learning professional, instructional designer, you need a digital portfolio. There's not even that's what's going to set you apart from everybody else. Because guess what everybody else is doing? They're filling out applications and putting resumes out there, right? And they're relying on their, however many years of experience in their resumes. But what's going to make a difference is the ability for a hiring manager to discern that the person can actually develop, actually put to fruition what they say they know. And that creates differentiation, right? So from a sales perspective, we always tend to purchase things due to differentiation. What makes one product look better or be more attainable or attractive is usually differentiation. It's different from the rest. It provides a new, fresh look. So that's the whole idea behind this strategy.
Terrific, terrific. Well, that's great advice, Alex. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you being here today to speak with me.
No, Buddy, I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for this great opportunity.
Excellent, thank you. So for the rest of you, please reach out if you have any questions about this show using the social media available to you from Visual Learning Solutions. Of course, you can find us on Facebook, give us a call, email us, however you'd like to reach us. We're always excited to hear from you. We provide services such as instructional design, e-learning, instructional course development, and so much more, including video production, both here in the studio and out in the field, such as at your corporate location or event center. Also, if you wish to host a show similar to this one, we can certainly help you there. from developing the concept to set and show design, along with full video production and marketing of your product. So thanks again for watching, and we hope you will tune in or even consider joining us as a guest on a future program. Please have a wonderful day.